Welcome to today's episode. I'm Grace, and at this time, we'll be discussing and talking about an article from CTV News called Toronto's Experiencing a Rise in Youth Violence. This article takes a look at the recent surge in violence committed by young people and the factors that come into play regarding how they get weapons and how social media plays a big part in recruitment. This article highlights how underlying social and economic issues such as poverty, limited employment opportunities, and systemic inequalities contribute to youth involvement in violence. It emphasizes that younger adolescents are particularly vulnerable to peer pressure and gang influence. This article highlights the tragic fatality of Javay Roy, an 8-year-old boy who was killed by a stray bullet while sleeping in bed with his mother back in August. I remember seeing this on the news with my jaw on the floor. As many other people did, I felt scared. Scared for what has become of our city, scared at the fact that a mother and her son can't go to sleep peacefully. What makes Javay Roy's death even more concerning is the fact that a 16-year-old boy was later arrested and charged with first-degree murder. This was a senseless act of violence, kids killing kids. But understanding why youth violence is rising requires looking at beyond individual actions. Factors like poverty, trauma, lack of opportunity, and exposure to violence both in the community and online play a huge role in shaping youth behavior and increasing the likelihood of involvement in violent activities. Experts emphasize that addressing youth violence effectively requires more than policing. It requires early intervention, access to supportive community programs, family engagement, and opportunities that give youth a safe and positive path forward. Ultimately, preventing youth violence means looking at the bigger picture. It's a complex issue, but with collective action and awareness, change is possible. Later in this episode, we will discuss and explore how social service workers can meaningfully support youth and families affected by these issues and reflect on how these challenges relate to human rights, emotional responses, and practical strategies for fostering safety and resilience in a diverse society.
Hi, and thanks for being with us today. I'm Zoe. In regards to this topic, we can ask ourselves, how does this topic connect to basic human rights within a diverse society? The reality is that both the victims of these crimes, who come from many age groups and backgrounds, and the youth being led astray, are directly impacted. When young people lack access to safety, education, opportunities, and support, their fundamental rights aren't being fully met. As a society, we have a responsibility to equip our youth with the tools, resources, and guidance they really need to navigate today's world without feeling pushed towards crime. Recent reports from CTV and Global News highlight a dramatic rise in young people being arrested with illegal firearms. Toronto police reported 59 youth firearm arrests in 2022, 78 in 2023, 128 in 2024, and already over 100 in 2025. What's alarming is how young the offenders are becoming. Some arrests involve children as young as 11 and 12 years old. Experts say this increase is driven by a mix of factors: aggressive social media recruitment, illegal guns flown across the U.S. border, and limited community support in under-resourced neighborhoods. Police also stated that this is not just a police problem. It's a community, social, and systematic issue. These factors are considered systematic and structural contributors to youth violence. In terms of human rights, youth violence connects directly to inequalities in a diverse city. When social conditions and neighborhoods are underfunded, some youth can't fully exercise their right to safety, opportunity, and development, which creates conditions for crime to grow. It is impartial. As future social service workers, we strive to address this, building trust relationships with our at-risk youth, connecting them to mentorship, recreation, and mental health supports, and also advocating for safer, better funded communities by collaborating across schools, communities, agencies, and families.
Hey everyone! Thanks for tuning in. It's Blessy. When we hear about these incidents, it's not just fear or anger that comes up. It's a grief, frustration, empathy, and even hope. And That's because youth violence doesn't impact just one person. It ripples through families, neighborhoods, and entire system. For social service workers, understanding is really important. Many youth don't ask for help because they've been judged or discriminated against before. And that breaks trust. Rebuilding the trust starts with empathy, truly listening, creating safe spaces, and showing young people that they matter and won't be judged. And here's the hopeful part: change is possible. When families, communities, and professionals come together, we can build safer environments and more supportive pathways for youth. Collaboration isn't just helpful, it's necessary. Stay with us as we continue exploring the issues that shape our communities and the steps we can take toward a brighter future.
And I'm Rochelle. If I were working with a client or group who had experienced gun violence in Toronto, one social service skill that could meaningfully benefit this population is trauma-informed, empowerment-based active listening. This skill combines the core techniques of active listening, such as attentive body language, paraphrasing, open-ended questions, and summarizing, with a trauma-informed and strength-based approach that acknowledges the emotional, psychological, and social impact of community violence. Gun violence in Toronto often leaves individuals and communities feeling unsafe, powerless, hypervigilant, and unheard. Many youth and families impacted by shootings struggle with grief, fear, distrust of systems, and stigma. Trauma-informed, empowerment-based active listening directly addresses these needs by creating a safe relational environment where clients feel genuinely respected, validated, and supported. This skill benefits the population in several practical ways. First, it creates emotional safety, which is essential for clients who may be reluctant to open up due to trauma, community pressure, or fear of being judged. Statements such as, "It makes sense that you're still on edge after what happened," help normalize their reactions. Second, it reduces feelings of isolation and shame by validating that their responses, anxiety, anger, numbness, or survival instincts are understandable given their lived experiences. Third, trauma-informed active listening helps clients build insight and clarity. Many young people exposed to gun violence are navigating complex emotions and difficult choices around safety, peer influence, and identity. By reflecting their experiences to them, the worker helps them better understand their needs and thought processes. I hear that carrying a weapon made you feel protected, and it also left you feeling constantly alert and stressed. This opens space for exploring safer alternatives. Fourth, the empowerment component of the skill strengthens self-efficiency, which is often weakened by repeated exposure to violence. Highlighting strengths such as seeking support, caring for siblings, avoiding certain situations, or showing emotional awareness helps clients recognize their resilience and capacity for change. This is especially important for youth who may feel trapped in cycles of fear or retaliation. Finally, this skill promotes collaborative problem solving, ensuring that safety planning and coping strategies are created with, not for, the client. This increases engagement and makes this solution realistic and meaningful in the context of Toronto's neighborhood dynamics. For example, with a group of youth affected by a recent shooting, the worker might say, "I'm hearing how the constant gun violence in the neighborhood has changed the way you move, who you trust, and how you think about your future. What also stands out is the strength that you've shown in supporting one another and trying to stay safe. Let's talk together about what has helped so far and what support you feel you need going forward."
Hello, my name is Jabran. The question I would ask the audience would be, which factors do you think plays a bigger role in rising youth violence in Toronto? For example, do you think it's social media influencing the youth to do things, trying to gain clout on social media platforms to become popular and known? Or do you think it can be issues like lack of support and opportunities for them? Because speaking from personal experience, I've seen youth do crazy things like harass people just trying to get some views and laughs on social media, and even do like dangerous challenges to like follow trends and like gain clout because if it's like trending, obviously you get like more views for it because it's in style, like it's popular. And I even seen like some kids like take it too far, like get arrested, like for example even youth like possessing guns and stuff, or like even gang related activities. Quoted from like the article, reading it, it said Mensa has quoted, "The recent arrest of children as young as 11 and 12 in violent crimes in the region has rattled people across the city." It's like some people are like surprised and some people are like seeing like how young he has gotten like over the years. Because before, when you'll think about crimes or like gang related stuff, like people doing things, you'll think it'll be like 16 to like 20 age group, even like older than that. It's that I feel like kids nowadays, like, since they know they're younger and stuff, and even like the people who are older than them in like the gang or like whatever, will like tell them to do like more violent things because they can't get in as much trouble as like the adults, because obviously you're gonna be a child as an adult, and the kids are just like young, so they're just gonna send them to like juvie, or if they can let them off easy, like no matter what even happens.